Star Music, Star Variety.
102.5.
Carolina Liar at Fleming's Prime Steakhouse and Wine Bar. Love it, you guys. And did I read on one of the blogs that you're already writing new material?
Yeah, we have a little Pro Tools set up in our bus, and that's kind of the luxury right now of having a little extra space. We're actually writing as much as we can. Hopefully in November we'll. It's not hopefully. Once this tour finishes, we're going to go back into the studio and start chopping these ideas up and see which one kind of makes the next record. There's a little bit of a concept for the next record already, so hopefully next spring or fall, probably fall of next year, we'll be putting the next record out.
How different do you think this next record is going to be from Coming to Terms? Are you going to make a big departure?
No, not too much, not too far, but the thing is like, after traveling as much as we've traveled all together, and now we all share these, when we started this band, it was all of us just kind of coming together. A lot of the songs kind of existed before all of us really, got to meet each other. And now we've shared all these ridiculously crazy adventures, and we all have the same perspective of, going out and meeting the same people, and the stories that we get to hear on the road and the stuff that we're sharing right now. It's all going to go into the kind of collective, it sounds like a bunch of hippie talk, but the kind of collective consciousness of what this album should turn into. I know it sounds like some sort of frou-frou thing, but it's weird. That stuff all kind of blends in whenever you start throwing it together, and so hopefully that's what comes out. We'll see if it's, I think sonically we'll keep it the same way that we have it now with the four-piece, because Johan is playing bass with one hand and keys with the other, and I'm detuning Rickard's guitar all the time, just for the fun of it.
Now, for any of our listeners who don't know the story, it's kind of a unique story on how you guys were put together as a band.
Yeah.
Could you tell it?
Totally. It was what ended up happening was, like I said, it's kind of a, pardon the phrase, but it's almost going around your ass to get to your elbow, the way this whole thing started. And what happened was I had written, because of a trip I took to Sweden, this one particular producer, just like he knew I was really, really poor and couldn't afford anything, and as a friend, he paid for me to go over to Sweden and watch a World Cup with all these guys and just kind of be out of the United States for a minute. And so he paid for me to go over, and out of this trip, just out of a fluke, I grabbed a notebook on the plane and I wrote these lyrics, I'm coming to terms, starting to learn this isn't all it's cracked up to be, and just left it alone. Went back to Los Angeles, and one of the neighbors, he just sat down at a piano in the backyard that we had, this kind of ghetto place we were living where there was a weird piano in the backyard. It doesn't make any sense. But he just started playing these chords down. And as he was playing the chords, he's like, yeah, man, let's just try and write something. And immediately it kind of came to me. It was like, that's what's in this notebook. So I went and grabbed the notebook and sang down, really, as he was just playing, what was written in the notebook. And we sent this song back to the guy that bought me this ticket. And just said, thank you. This trip, we write this song because of the trip. And he called back literally the day that I had was going in to pick up my last paycheck from a job I had at the time. And I had no idea what was going to happen next. But he called that night at midnight. I was like, man, if you guys can write 2 more songs like this, maybe I could help you. And that really just started this crazy chain reaction where we wrote Show Me and I'm Not Over literally in the same week. And at that point, he's like, okay, you guys need to come to Sweden, me and my writing partner at the time. He's like, you got to come to Sweden and we can see what we can put together. And at that time, there were some guys that were playing on the record. All of us were playing, but the writing partner, Tobias, decided that he didn't want to go on the road. And this other gentleman, Johan Schuster, he became famous for writing So What and 100 other different Britney songs since that time. So those guys were like, but we know some really great players while we were in Sweden. And so that's how I met Johan and Max and Rickard. Once we started getting into working on the record out of Stockholm, that's how this whole thing came together. And that's really, like I said, it's really going around your ass to get to your elbow, but that's, that's what happened.
But it's kind of funny. In a lot of ways, it's a Cinderella story that you always, you always hear about.
It really is. I was just thinking about it last night. We were just laughing because at the moment, yesterday morning, I got a call from some people in Ireland, and they said I'm Not Over went to #1 there, and then we're on this crazy, if you guys see this bus that we're traveling on, it's just one of those things where you sit there and you're like, are you kidding me? We're actually this is the life that we're getting to live right now, and you just, you've seen this on TV and all this stuff, and you can't quite take it in. It doesn't seem real.
You didn't have a TV when you.
I know, that's the thing. Those are just pictures. They're moving pictures that people show me. It's like one of those flip books. I'm that old.
Not color TV.
Yeah, it wasn't color. It's true. I did have a black and white TV when I was a kid.
So did I, actually. I'm not that young.
Will we play us another one?
Yeah, we'll play. This is a really, kind of a song that was inspired by a little bit too much alcohol one evening, and it turned into a love song. So we'll leave it at that. We got in trouble for playing this song one time and actually explaining what it was, but we'll leave it up to you guys if you can relate to the song.
Star 102.1